Thank you for joining us. It's a very beautiful Sunday afternoon and I'm in Arewa House for a book luncheon titled A Glimpse into Islamic Law of Inheritance. I have the author here with me. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you so much for your kind invitation. Can you please tell our viewers your name and where you're from?
I'm Abbas Abdullahi Humpi, as you can see it written in the book.
Yes.
And I'm also an origin of Humpi town,
Okay.
the local government of Kaduna State. I was born there and grew up there too.
Okay. That's very interesting. What is your educational qualification?
My educational qualification is BA, degree in Islamic Studies.
Okay, mashallah. So what inspired you to write this beautiful book titled A Glimpse into Islamic Law of Inheritance?
So you know that each and everything in the world, it must have a certain and a cogent reason before it's emerged. And actually I was motivated to undertake in writing it based on the kind of challenges we experience during our course of study, as I mentioned even in the book.
Okay.
And there was a course, Islamic, ISL 3L5, Awal Shakhsiya Inheritance, in 300 level of Islamic Studies here in Kaduna State. So the time that we were studying that very course, we came across with some challenges with regard to the unavailability of English writing in this area.
Okay.
There are a lot of English writings, but not as comprehensive as you can read and understand it. Maybe there are many projects written in different departments and different institutions. And if you go through the projects, maybe the project is specified in a certain topic. Maybe we have owl, like an increment of the wealth during the distribution. Maybe a project will restrict only in the cases of owl.
Okay.
And there is what you call al-hajabu, means impediment. That means an exemption in terms of inheritance. Maybe a project will restrict only in that very aspect.
Very aspect.
Yes. So, but there are a lot of writings in Arabic in this regard. And most of us, I think 1/3 of us, they do not willingly apply to study Islamic studies then. But they were, maybe they were getting a transfer, like a transfer of course.
Okay.
Maybe some of them applied. Okay, there were some of them that basically they were admitted to read biology, some of them chemistry, so they have no a sound background in Arabic. So in the absence of availability of these English writings, they will find it difficult for them to read and understand. And admittedly, this very course is not that kind of simple course that each and everyone can just go into it and understand it without Allah's mercy and
help.
Yes, with regard to it, because even the Prophet Muhammad has mentioned in an authentic hadith that the Prophet Muhammad says, learn the knowledge of inheritance. The time will come whereby two people will dispute between them and they will find no one to come and intervene or to come and settle between them.
Yes.
Because this hadith is inspiring the kind of habitual, the kind of nature of this very course, that there will be a time in the world that the scholars of inheritance will not be no more where to found. So the Prophet ﷺ, there are a lot of motivations that says land law of inheritance, for it is serving as a hub of knowledge. There are a lot of ahadith like that, authenticated by different reputable scholars.
Okay, can I ask you a question?
You can.
What is the consequences of people, let's say siblings, family, disputing over inheritance, and what is the implication of that on the deceased?
So if you say dispute between, let me just put it like the heirs, those that can inherit the wealth left by their late deceased, just left by their deceased. Actually, in Islam, you know that we are not just saying things like that based on how it comes to us. We must have a sound and a supportive evidence from Quran and Hadith. Disputing actually is totally discouraged in Islam, not even in the case of inheritance or this and that. But the verse that comes with some presages and some warnings with regard to abandoning the law of inheritance are there. Among the verses is the verse that Allah Ta'ala says, إن الذين يأكلون أموال اليتامى ظلما إنما يأكلون في بطونهم نارا وسيصلون سعيرا. Those who swallow the wealth of orphans willingly, deliberately, they swallow but fire in their bellies. So this hadith, okay, this verse is clearly indicating the prohibition of swallowing or going through someone's property left by his, without his consent or this and that. But in terms of punishment or any hadith or verse that talks about the prohibition or the prohibition of disputing between the inheritance wealth, in this point of mine, I don't know it. But what I know, disputing is totally discouraged in Islam. But specifically in the case of inheritance, I don't know it. Whether it is there, I don't know it.
Okay, so when did you start writing this book?
I started writing this book when I was in 300 level. In fact, end of the semester. Okay. Immediately after the end of semester exams.
What year was that?
That was 2016. 2016 ending.
So this is your first book?
Yes.
Alright, so what tools did you use in your research?
I have already explained in the book, I think, because you didn't go through it, that's why you're asking this question.
Yeah, I didn't go through it actually.
The book is not basically restricted to the books I mentioned. Okay. But normally the books are serving as a fundamentals where I deduce the work, which is Afradakum Zayd by Professor Ahmad Al-Murdi Said, is my mentor, the person who we learn a lot from him. He's an Arabian from Sudan. Then there is Taqrirat al-Sunniya ala Mandumat al-Rahabiyya for Khalid al-Juhani. This one is serving like as a commentary of Al-Rahabiyya. As Al-Rahabiyya is a set of poems, yes, that has to do with Islamic law of inheritance. So there is a commentary of that book. Then I used it too to build this book. Then there is a book titled Subhanallah. There is a book titled Al-Mawarith by Imam Ali Sabuni. Al-Mawarith, like for you to say Al-Fara'id, Al-Mirath, Al-Mawarith is the plural form of Al-Mirath, which is inheritance. So he just named the book Al-Mawarith, like inheritance. So these are the fundamentals, but I go through many books. Sahih Bukhari and Muslim for the authentication of the hadith I mentioned. There is Irwa al-Ghalil for Imam al-Albani. That one is also serving as a book of hadith, because Imam al-Albani used to write a hadith book to those the hadiths that are authentic and those that are not authentic, yes, to indicate it there. So I refer back to it, and I use international standards translation of Quran. I use it too. This is in a nutshell.
Okay, so was funding a challenge for you during this, and how did you manage that?
So the challenges, you know, that is there. Whatever you are starting at a beginning, you must encounter some challenges. The first challenge, then I was not having a computer for me, a system for me to type it myself. Had it been I was the one who typed it myself, I think I would have found it easier for me to come across, like to tackle some of the errors that a reader might, yes, say it in the book. Though I have tried a lot, because I took the book or the work in its soft form, given to one of my friends, Al-Amin Al-Anchawi, and he is indeed an expert in terms of Microsoft. Then he tries as much as he can, because he offered that same course that I was, yes, that I was motivated to undertake in writing the book. So he has a little experience in it, so he used his own idea with regard to spelling mistakes, because there are some wordings that are not mainly Arabic. Yes, there are words that we are using here is Arabic but we transliterated it
Okay.
in English. Yes. So those courses, those words are not recognized by the computer.
Yes.
So he usually used to do it by himself. Not this how it's supposed to be and this how it's supposed to be. He used to call me and have a sitting together so as to arrange it and codificate it possibly.
So how can readers purchase your book?
So for now, there was a person who asked me same, and I replied that for now, I think I will just give it to one sister of ours that is having currently here in the Departmental Library of Islamic Studies, Department Kaduna State University. Those that are in the university can go there and meet her so as to get the book there. And also an email is written there and a phone number of mine is there. So a person, if he see it, I think he can call me at any given time, inshallah. I'll respond to him and I will direct him to the place easier for him to go and see it.
So do you have any advice for aspiring writers?
So the advice is, you know that we are Muslims and whatever we do, we used to measure it based on the provisions of Quran and Sunnah. So the Prophet Muhammad was reported to have said in an authentic hadith where he says, إِذَا مَاتَ ابْنَ عَدَمٍ انْقَطَعَ عَمَلُهُ إِلَّا مِنْ ثَلَاثٍ صَدَقَةٍ جَارِيَةٍ أَوْ عِلْمٍ يُنْتَفَعُ بِهِ أَوْ وَلَدٍ صَالِحٍ يَدْعُو لَهُ. If a human being, if a son of Adam dies, so all of his activities is cut off. Unless three things. Sadaqat Jariyah, a continuous charity, like an endowment that you have given to be continuously like, yes, 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 so inshallah you will get it. And أو علم ينتفع به, or a knowledge that people will benefit with it. So now we have a verbal knowledge and a written knowledge. And verbally, it's easy to forget. If you just come here and preach to us, it will easy people to forget it. But something that is written, I'm sure that I will die and leave this book in the world. I'm sure. So inshallah, based on the injunction of that very hadith I mentioned, inshallah, I will keep on receiving like a pension of it even after death, inshallah. This is based on the intention of the writer. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make it beneficial and to make it for him with utmost sincerity.
So last but not the least, do you have any intentions of going further and writing more books?
Of course, yes. In fact, because now, as you know, I don't even know whether you know, I'm serving currently in Akwa Ibom State.
Yes, I heard that.
So when the time that we were registrating in that NYSC scheme, I said that inshallah I will use this opportunity before I finish my service here. Inshallah, I'll try as much as I can to write another one. And my intention is to write in Islamic banking.
Okay.
I can say Islamic finance or something in relation to that. Because we are not of that. There are a lot of challenges we are experiencing in our markets and our transactions Islamically. And riba, it comes in that and this and that, and there are a lot of passages from the Prophet ﷺ that indicate how wrath Allah is in terms of eating usury and something like that.
Okay, thank you so much for your time. I wish you good luck in your future.